Looks like we are live now. All right, welcome guys to our 15th session of our Quickfire. All right, so for those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Moses. So I'm the director for MAP Learning and Consultancy, and I've also been a math tutor for more than 10 years now. So today's and the Quickfire project has always been a passion project of mine to wanting to do like math help to people for free. Yes, so I open up this session every week for people to come in to ask questions, to maybe go through some topics for revision. It could be any math topic that is ranging from primary school all the way to secondary school. So it can be, so over the past, I would say I'm already counting, and it is now the 15th session already. Is it 15th? Yeah, 15th session already. So I've been doing it over a couple of 2 months down, and then I've covered most of the secondary sec 3, sec 4 topics already. So I understand that nowadays people during this week people are getting ready for their WAs. Yes, and also they are also preparing to be ready to do their WA this week. This week. Most of the students I have are doing the WA this week. It's either this week or next week. So people might want to do some like final revision, or whether you all got some homework questions that you want to ask, you all can actually drop me a message on the Zoom, and then I'll just do a quick interaction with you over there. Okay, so in the meantime, just quickly let me set up my YouTube as well. I believe my YouTube is live, but need to ensure that it's there. I want to do some like fine. Okay, yeah, it's there. So for Facebook wise, I already cut down the streaming from there because I realized that it's easier to stream to YouTube. So on YouTube, it has all my records of all the streams that I'm doing. Then in the future, then if I want to do any video editing, I can do it from there. Okay. At the same time, in view for the response and feedback I've gotten over the past few sessions, okay, the duration for this quick fire timing will be slightly adjusted. Okay, I will shorten it from 3 hours to 2 hours. So the reason why is that to make things more concise, and then also to keep things short and simple, because I realized that over the past few sessions where I've been doing a lot of 3-hour sessions, a lot of people didn't manage to stay until the end, probably because of the dinner timing and all. So they didn't stay until the end. And then it's quite draining. I have to say, I put it up front that it's quite taxing to go and sustain on and on for 3 hours straight from 5 to 8. So from now onwards, the timing will be just from 5 to 7. Yeah, 5 to 7, correct. So same thing. I will still be going through like random topics that will be covered in the exams, and also what you guys have been going through in school. Okay, and then I will just along the way entertain questions that's coming in from the Zoom meeting. As you all can see, I'm actually doing a live stream from Zoom itself, so you all can actually, so from time to time you all see some questions that's being asked and interacted. It's all directly from the Zoom meeting itself. Okay. I just drop a message to my WhatsApp group. Okay, so in the meantime, I also want to quickly update you guys about the things that we are handling right now. So apart from the channels that I'm doing, so number one is this YouTube channel and this weekly live streams that I'm doing. Then I'm also managing the WhatsApp group that I have, and also Discord servers for people who are more online over there. So, and then what else I have? I have the Xiaohongshu. Yes, Xiaohongshu, I'm also trying to pick up a bit of marketing over there. And we have also just recently launched our Instagram page, which is MAP Learning Instagram page, where I'll be posting more content in terms of like learning habits, studying environments, and then how parents can also support their children in terms of their studying as well. And also what are some of the avenues and resources that students can actually pick up when they want to do study on their own. Okay, so at the same time, while running the weekly tuition assignments as per usual, we are also preparing exam prep workshops that is going to be in the June holidays. So this is mainly targeted for graduating students, Sec 4 and P6, for them to aim to to do a mock time practice to prep themselves for the upcoming exams. Yeah, I got the schedule there. Okay, so this is the schedule that we have. Okay, this is the MAP exam training program that we are doing. So the people can actually choose from two options. Number one is the online option, where they can do it directly on Zoom. The other one is this option, which I recommend more, which is the second option, is for you guys to actually come down straight to our office. Come down straight to our office, and then we will invigilate the mock exam, and so the student will take the exam as if it's a real exam, like real exam setting and all those. So after that, we will immediately go through the paper with you. So it's like an immediate tutorial-ish. Okay, so this is a program that we are preparing for the June holidays. So, and then we have a special rate for our current tutors, which is 59.90 per session. And then for public, is 59.90 per session. So the subjects we'll be covering will be P6 Maths, P6 Science, Sec 4 E-Maths, Sec 4 A-Maths. Okay, so and then for each of the papers, as you can see in the schedule, is over here. The schedules are all out already. So what we will be doing is we'll be doing this on a weekly basis. So as you come, maybe you sign up for 2 weeks straight. So you may be going for one A-Maths paper 1 and then going for one A-Maths paper 2. Okay, or maybe you want to have like a E-Maths paper. Maybe you know that you will study weaker in paper 2. You just want to target on paper 2. So A-Maths paper 2, E-Maths paper 2. That also works as well. So for 2 or more sessions, you all can get a special discount, a discount from us. So this is just to encourage you guys to actually come over and to have a look and do a mini exam on your own. Okay, so what we will do is after you guys finish the exam, then we will give you guys a break, and then you guys will continue with the going through. It's like a tutorial. We will just go through the paper immediately on the spot. Yeah, so this is exam training program that we are preparing right now. Okay, the responses are decent so far. Not fantastic because they're just starting out. But in terms of the marketing wise, I feel that we can also step up a bit more. So right now, what we can do is the responses are still decent and still coming in. So of course, if you guys know of friends or you guys want to join and you guys happen to watch this, join us in this program and have a look for yourself. Ultimately, whether or not you guys take our tuition, it doesn't matter. This objective is for you guys to gauge yourself whether how ready you are for the upcoming national exams. Okay, so that is for the exam training program. Okay, so apart from that, we are also looking at the content database that I'm working on, which is the Notion database. So it's been a while since I worked on that one because now we are ramping up on the marketing side. You know, as an entrepreneur, we need to handle everything ourselves. Okay, so we are trying our best over here. Okay, let me just quickly share my screen about the database. Even though it hasn't been updated that much, I'm still ongoing, trying my best to like upload some questions, and then I'm also tidying up the framework that we have. Okay, like some of the topics that in primary school levels can be adjusted in terms of how they are being taught. So I'm also doing some of these corrections and changes as well. So in a way, it's not just aligning ourselves with the Singapore syllabus, but we are also doing our own take on how subjects should be taught as well. Okay, just going to quickly share it with you guys. Okay, so you guys can see on the exam, on this screen over here is the MAP Max system that is what I am working on, which is have the full framework, the study notes, the question bank, and articles. The content articles is a bit less updated now, But what we are focusing at right now is to really align all the syllabus that we are doing. So for example, for primary 1, you got all the things that you need to count to learn at the end of the study year, and including secondary schools as well. Okay, so for notes and stuff, this is for you guys to take reference. So it's meant to be a companion app. It's like a math companion with you while you are doing your own studying. So perhaps maybe in school you are learning a new topic, but then when you learn this new topic, you face some difficulty, or maybe the school is too fast, you are not able to understand immediately. So you can actually come over here and read off some notes and articles and do some practices on your own. So this is meant to complement your own studying. Okay. Of course, if you want to learn ahead, for example, let's say you are a Sec 2 student, okay, and you say, I want to learn a bit more, I want to learn a bit faster, okay, and maybe learn a bit and get myself exposed to answer yourself whether AMAX is suitable for you. Because I know that for secondary school students, you guys are facing the dilemma whether or not to take or not take AMAX. Okay, so you guys can hop into this app and then take a look at the content and the material and judge for yourselves. Okay, on a personal note, I feel that AMAX is something that shouldn't be dropped. Even if your max foundations is not good, I feel that AMAX is something that shouldn't be dropped. Everyone should take AMAX, because even if your EMAX is not good, AMAX can in some form help to complement EMAX. They are actually helping out one another. If you understand the AMAX concepts, you will be able to understand EMAX concepts better. However, if you were to just take EMAX alone, okay, you will need additional form of understanding, extra bit of effort to understand the EMAX topics itself. So without the understanding of AMAX students, so you as an EMAX student, as you take the EMAX exam, you yourself will be losing out to people who are taking both EMAX and AMAX. So the level of understanding is different. So my personal take is always take AMAX. No matter what it is, take AMAX. It's always the safer route out. Okay, so this is just a personal sharing lah. But like I said, there are some students and parents who think that, hey, my children max really really cannot. Then how? Then no choice. Then you'll say drop AMAX, don't take. Okay, fair enough. Or unless you guys are talking about foundation, let's say in primary school, you guys are taking foundation levels, then you guys actually manage to scrape through and then to come to secondary school level. So if that's the case, I wouldn't recommend taking AMAX, because if then just stick to one and then focus full on it. Okay, because over the past years of experience in teaching, I also see a lot of students having the same rationale when they drop AMAX at the starting of Sec 4. So they say that they did Sec 3, they did 1 year of EMAX in Sec 3, then they were suffering. They don't know how to study, they keep failing the exams, they keep fail. So in the end, they say that because they don't want to use a failed subject to affect their scores at the end of O levels, so they decided to drop AMAX. But the main motivation is because it is not to affect the O level score, which I feel is a bit of a waste. It's a bit of a waste, because it's not meant. The studying is just for the scores itself. It's a bit not worth it. It's not worth it. EMAX is meant to be fun. EMAX and AMAX are both should be fun, and they can really complement one another. Okay, so I'd highly recommend for everyone to take AMAX no matter what. So this is something that I want to share. Okay, so back to the topics today. So I have some requests to do volume and surface area, and then I covered a bit, I know, for the last 2 weeks, because last week I was taking a break. So last 2 weeks I was covering a bit about volume and surface areas. Not sure you guys managed to watch the video or not. Okay, but yeah, correct. So I can cover through that again. I would say it's actually pretty straightforward. Or rather, if you guys got any topics or what, I can just go dive straight in. Okay, another reason I want to reduce the duration is because I want to keep it short. Okay, so if there's no like questions and all, I'll just update myself, do some live interaction with you guys, and then another hour to do a bit of teaching, and I'm done. Okay, so other than that, then unless there are more like queries coming in, okay. Okay, at the same time, we have also moving forward, we are also looking towards innovating in terms of how the company will move forward in terms of education. Because like what I mentioned earlier, and for many times before this stream, is that we are not just looking and focusing on academics excellence. We also want our students to, to study well, be happy, and really to achieve holistic development. Yeah, this is what we are looking more in terms of the long picture, the long-term vision. So what's the point if someone were to study so hard, get good grades, and then it's not worth it. It's really not worth it, because yes, the government has been talking about like helping like us, not to encourage us not to use like our grades as a big benchmark to how we, not to take it too hard if you don't score well. But however, there will be people who tend to do so. Okay, and it's really no point if we were to like study so hard for it, and then we get ourselves mentally burn out, emotionally burn out, and then ultimately the unthinkable happens. Not worth it. So the objective for what we do and what we create and what we are doing day by day is to ensure to give as much resources for people to actually, to be able to have some form of not just academic help. But academic help is only just one small factor. We are looking more in terms of the self-development and the psychological growth. That's why during my classes and my tuition sessions, I always share with parents and also students that it's not just about the grades that we are after. We also want students to study happily, and of course to study with confidence, because it's the confidence that is what largely determine the performance of the student. It's not just about the knowledge, getting the knowledge in your head and then regurgitating everything on an exam hall. It's definitely not the case. If we have been ongoing doing tuition, and then this student has been studying damn hard for it, and then if he got so stressed out and so burnt out, and then when it comes to the real day, then he or she breaks down, panic, mind blank, then all the money, all the time is wasted. And I believe nobody will want to see that. Because ultimately, it's like you wouldn't want to like cry and come out of the exam hall knowing that you're going to score a 0 because you know nothing, or rather you couldn't recall anything from all the months of tutoring and sessions and all, because the expectation set was so high that they just couldn't perform and they just go panic on that day. So totally not worth it. So I often share with my students and tutees that, hey, look, this is about, yes, it's about you and your results, but ultimately we want you to be studying happily and to be confident. So in fact, we also do advise to certain parents and students to, to seek an alternative route for education if their children are not cut up for the standard level. So we have primary school students in which we advise for them to go for foundation, because their level of absorption and comprehension is just the student is struggling very hard in the standard level as compared to doing the basic and mastering the basics in foundation. You see, the thing is that for normal streams, it's like the things that they can test is so wide. It's actually a big spectrum, from the most basic calculating skills all the way to heuristics, problem sums. These are standard level. But for foundation, right, where are we looking at? We are looking at the bottom half. In fact, lower than the bottom half. Why? Because they are focusing on the straightforward conceptual questions, fill in the blank, circle. So these are very simple questions. And of course, even though as you stay in foundation, the maximum highest grade you can go is AL6. Okay, but you are getting this AL6 more confidently, more happily, and in the long run, it will not ruin your interest for the subject. I feel that is what benefits more in the long run for this student who is studying foundation, as compared to someone who is struggling with the standard level, trying his best to go and master every type of problem sum, and then while he just finds it a big struggle. So as compared to AL that they are getting at the end of the day, we are looking at the long-term interest and the confidence of a student. I feel that that's more important. Okay. So yeah, so in fact, from the way that we teach and the way that me and my tutors share with students is towards this area lah. We want them to be happy, learn happily, study happily. I feel that that's the way out. Oh. Okay, so moving forward today, I'll just share a bit about because I know this is a WA week, I don't know whether should I want to do a paper. I got a small hunch to want to do a paper. So it's just like to do type mid-year exam paper on the spot, and then you guys can just go through and listen as well. That maybe in that case, if you guys touch on it, if you guys see anything that is like you guys want more revision on, then you can come back to the notes and all that stuff. Yeah, you know what? Let's try that today. Okay. Because I have over the years I have like past like don't know, I came across like many different papers from all different schools. I download them online and let my students to try, so that this is for them to practice. So me myself, I take that as a practice as well. So it is just really to update myself on what is the new, the new trend out there, what kind of questions they are testing on and all this stuff. I know that during the pandemic, some of the topics are being removed, but I would say 90% of the topics are still there. So if you guys want, you guys can also take out your pen and paper and do it with me. Okay, let's start with, or let's go with one paper one today. Paper one, I know is about 2 hours plus. But I believe I will take less than that because some of the things are pretty simple, like pressing calculator. Okay, you know what, let's do it today. So that at least you got something to push us in terms of the questions, and I'll be able to cover on all topics. Okay, let me just do a share screen. Okay, broadcast. Then I'll do this one. Okay, good. I think you guys can see my screen now. Yay. Okay, so we are looking at Ang Mo Kio Secondary School Mid-Year Exam 2018. This is a Sec 3 paper. So for Sec 3 students, you are in luck. For Sec 4 students, you guys are also in luck because this is just for you guys to recap on the Sec 3 things. Doesn't mean that Sec 4, you're in Sec 4 already, Sec 3 things can forget. So Sec 3 things are meant to be the foundation for your Sec 4 things. So today we'll just look at this Sec 3 EMAX paper. Okay, EMAX. So for those people who are taking EMAX and AMAX, both of you can listen to this one. Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay, this one I covered with some of my duties, so I just briefly run through again also. So let's start with the first question. Okay, you guys can get ready your calculators as well. Okay, 1A, calculate square root 10.99 minus 2 divided by 4.1 square plus 3/5. Write down all the digits shown on your calculator display. Test on calculator skills. Okay, go ahead and try it out. Square root 10.99. Sorry, I can't share what I see on my calculator, what you guys see on the calculator. You guys can go and press and see yourself. Okay. Okay, divided by 4.1 square plus 0.6. Okay, so if you guys key in everything correctly, you guys will be able to see this. 0.75538,017. Okay, and then give your answer part A to 2 sig fig. Okay, 2 sig fig 0.076. Okay, should be quite easy for you guys. So this is quite easy. So go ahead and do it. Okay, question 2. A printer can print 500 books in an hour. Each book contains 30 pages. Assuming that the printer prints at the same constant rate, calculate the time needed to print 300 books containing 18 pages. Give your answer in minutes and seconds. 2-mark question. Okay, so under this kind of rate questions, the best way is to write it out. That means write it out in terms of the rates. So what do I mean? Let me show you guys. That means from here, the question tells me 500 books. Okay, each of them contains 30 pages, and this can be done in 1 hour. So I write it out in like a ratio format. So you see, for a ratio format like this, when one variable goes up, the other variable must go down. That means out of these 3 variables, I take 2 to go and compare. Either one goes up, one goes down. So because they say that assuming that the printer prints at the same constant rate, that means this is the standard printer's rate. Okay, this is the standard printer's rate. So calculate the time needed to print 300 books containing 18 pages. So you see that there are 2 variables that are being changed. One is the number of pages, one is the number of books. Okay, let's change one by one. Then we go and map out the changes. So number 1, let's change 500 books to 300 books. Okay. So like I said, we only change one out of these 3 variables, right? We change one variable at one time. Okay, let's look at it. So I changed 500 to 300 books. So as you can see, assuming that it is still 30 pages, that means we say we don't change 2 variables at one time. I only change the number of books. Okay, so for 500 to 300 books, okay, lesser number of books. That means what should the time? The time should also take lesser, right? Because more books, more time lah. Less book, less time. Simple as that. Don't need to think too complicated about direct proportion, inverse proportion. Don't need. Just think common sense can already. The more books, more time. Less books, lesser time. All right, lesser by how much? Okay, so as you can see, from 500 to 300 is actually 3/5 the load. Okay, so from here, since it is both directly proportional, in a way, both go down because more books, more time. Less book, less time means direct proportional. Okay, so from here, I also need to multiply by 3/5. So can I say that to print 300 books, each book containing 30 pages, I need 3/5 an hour. That's what we're looking at. Okay, now 300 books, 30 pages, 3/5 hour. Now I want 300 books. Here's the question. I want 18 pages. Same thing. More pages, more time. Less pages are less time lah. Correct or not? So from 30 pages to 18 pages, we need to see what is the decrease in rate. If you look carefully, it's also multiplied by 3/5. It's also multiplied by 3/5. Can you see that? So that means from the 3/5 hour, I need to multiply another 3/5 of this 3/5 hour. Can you see that? So from here, how much time that we are looking at, this is actually my answer, which is 9/25 hour. However, I cannot just put 9/25 hour because I need to convert it to minutes and seconds. Minutes and seconds. So how do we do it? Quite straightforward. So we just take 9/25 times 60. So 9/25 times 60, I'll get 21.6 minutes. But this is 21 minutes. But the remaining 0.6, I cannot put 6 seconds. This is a common mistake. 21.6 minutes is 21.6 minutes. So it's made up of 21 minutes and 0.6 minutes. So I need to convert this 0.6 minutes, right, to seconds. How do I do it? So how do I convert 0.6 to minutes to seconds? Same thing. This is actually 6/10 multiplied by 60. Because 1 minute is 60 seconds. I'm taking 0.6 of a minute. So it should be 36 seconds. Okay, so the answer is 21 minutes and 36 seconds. Okay? No other answer. It cannot, there should not be any type of margin of error lah, approximate lah, estimate. No. It should be exactly 21 minutes and 36 seconds. Okay? Simple. Huh? Okay, moving on. Question 3. The temperature in degrees Celsius at noon on 3 successive days was -4, 9, and K. Given that the temperature has been increasing for the past 3 days, find the expression in terms of K for the difference in temperature between the first and third days. The difference in the temperature, quite straightforward, right? I take K minus -4. Okay? Got to take note that because it's actually -4. So minus becomes plus. So it should be K plus 4. Okay? And then the mean temperature for the 3 days. So you'll take -4 plus 9 plus K over 3. So it's K plus 5 over 3. Very straightforward. 就这样子. Okay. Okay. Simple question. Should be very easy for you guys. Okay, I want to try to see if I can stream it to my Facebook so that people can actually watch it from there also. Let me try because I need to activate my OBS for that. I think it should work. It should work. Let me just quickly put it up onto my Facebook as well. Facebook. Settings. Stream. Facebook Live. Show. Okay. Let me just quickly take a 2-minute break to set up my live here. Go live. Copy. Yeah, that's true. Wait, hang on. Copy. Paste. Okay. Where are you? Title Quickfire. Match 15, 11 May. So I copy this one over here, right? Stream, show. Okay, start streaming. So yeah, now it should be connecting to my Facebook and we are ready to go live. I'll just continue on from where we left off. Okay. Go live. All right, let's go. Should be straightforward. Yeah, I'm up. Okay, let's continue from here. Okay, so let's move on to the next question on question 4. Okay, for those of you on Facebook, hi everyone. So we are doing our 15th session of Quickfire. So what I'm doing now is a Sec 3 Emacs paper. I know that it's a WA week, so I'm just going to like quickly run through some papers and also to do some refresh for Sec 3 and Sec 4 students. Okay, so maybe in the future, who knows, I'll be continually doing like papers like this to engage you guys. Then if you guys have any questions regarding certain questions that or any revision you all need a bit more, a bit extra, then I'll stop at the topic and I'll go through the revision from there. Okay, let's continue from here. Okay, let's continue. So given that question 4, let's look at question 4 over here. Given that 5 to the power of p divided by 5 to the power of q is 1/5. Express p in terms of q. This is very straightforward. We know indices when you see the numbers divide, that means the powers can minus off one another. Just like that. And 1/5. 1/5 is 5 to the power of 1. Okay, so from here we can compare the powers. So P minus Q is minus 1. Express P in terms of Q. I'm quite shocked that up to today, there are still people who forgot what does this mean. Okay, express P in terms of Q. It means I want P to be P equals something, something, something. In terms of Q means what? Somewhere along the blank must have Q. It can be anywhere, but as long as Q can already. Okay, so how do we change this? That means it will be P equals to Q minus 1. This is my answer. Very straightforward. Okay, 2 marks. Okay, and also like to share a bit more. For 2 marks, how much time you guys should be taking? 1 minute. You all just need to take the number of marks, divide by 2. That is the number of time that the amount of time that you guys should be taking for each question. If the question is 1 mark, you should get it instantly. If you don't get it instantly, you need to revise on your fundamentals and your foundations. 2 marks means 1 minute. 3 marks means 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. 4 marks means 2 minutes. 5 marks, 3 minutes. This is a standard. Okay, if you are unable to solve the question in that time frame, that means you need to build your speed already. Okay, this is a common strategy that I always tell my students. If you cannot see the answer instantly, if it's a 1 mark question, that means there is some fundamental or concepts that is not strong or you have like forgotten. Okay, so this is something that you can take note. Okay, so 2 marks, 1 minute, simple presentation like that. Okay, let's move on. The length of the road is 2.8 kilometers. The length of this road on the map is 7 cm. The length of the river is represented by 20 cm. Calculate the actual length. Okay, very straightforward. 7 cm to 2.8 kilometer. So 20 cm is how many kilometer? This looks like a primary school question now. Okay, so for you guys should know what to do. So it's 20 over 7 times 28. 80. So the answer is 80 kilometers. 2.8, sorry. So it's 8 kilometers. 8.0, because it's 2.8. So it's 8 kilometers. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, moving forward. The river flows into a lake of area 6.4 kilometers square. Calculate the area in cm square of the lake represented on the map. Okay, so this one, we need to do some conversion first. See, that's why it's 2 marks. 1 minute, should be able to see the concept immediately. Okay, so let's take a look at the current scale first. The current length scale is 7 cm to 2.8 kilometer. Okay, so I can just do a direct conversion from here, or I can do a simplifying first. So if I were to simplify, I can say that it's actually, if I divide by 7 from both sides, okay, it's actually 1 cm to 0.4 kilometer. Okay, and this is the length scale. I want the area scale. What do I do in the area scale? I square both sides. So I'll get 1 cm square to 0.16 km square. Okay, let me just write properly. 0.16 km square. And now it is given that the actual area is 6.4 kilometers square. So it's 6.4 kilometers square here. So all I need to do is how many cm square? Same thing. 6.4 divided by 0.16. So 6.4 divided by 0.16, you get 40. 40 cm square. That's my answer. Okay, very straightforward. Less than 1 minute. Okay, moving on. Question 6. Okay, this one on factors. Okay, factors. Given that m equals to 2 cubed times 3 squared times 5 to the power of 4 and n equals to 2 squared times 3 to the power of 4 times 5 to the power of 5. Write down in index notation the highest common factor of m and n. You see? 1 mark, instant. Okay, so straightforward because they already put it in index notation. There's no need for you to go and do your prime factorization and all that stuff. Just see from here. Highest common factor. So remember, what do we do about the base? We look for the common base. So I write here LCM of m, n. Common base, all of them are common base. So 2 times 3 times 5, all inside. Okay. Highest common factor, lowest power. So 2 cubed, 2 square, I take 2 square. 3 square, 3 to the power of 4, I take 3 square. 5 to the power of 4, 5 to the power of 5, I take 5 to the power of 4. So this is my answer. 2 square, 3 square, 5 to the power 4. That's it. 1 mark straight away. Okay. Next, B. Find the smallest positive integer k such that kmn is a perfect square. Just a keyword, perfect square. What does perfect square means? Okay, if you guys watch my previous streams, perfect square means what? Perfect square means all my powers are even. It must be even. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 all also can, but it must be even, so it can be squared. Okay, so now I want to see here, kmn is a perfect square. So I need to put m and n together first to see what it is. Then we see what are the other things that we need to top up such that it becomes a perfect square. So let's find out mn first. Mn is 2 to the power 5 times 3 to the power 6 times 5 to the power 9. This is what I have. Okay, so from here, okay, find the smallest integer k such that kmn is a perfect square. So from here, there are a few things that we need to do because this is a 2. If you look at the base 2, 2 to the power 5. Like I said, powers must be even. So I need to top up what? Okay, I change color. I need to top up a 2 because it becomes 2 to the power 6. Then even number. 5 to the power 9 is an odd number. I need to multiply by one more 5 to make it 5 to the power 10. I can ignore the 6 because it's already even power. So what is this value? This is the value of k. Therefore, k equals to 10. Okay, so far for this one? So k is 10. That's it. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, some of you may ask, can it be in a fraction? This is a very important question because they say integer. Can there be another integer smaller than this number? Possible, but it involves a fraction. Okay, so when they say fraction, maybe I can go downwards. Maybe when I divide by 5 or I divide by 4, then it becomes divide by, okay, so if I were to divide by 2, it becomes 2 to the power 4. If I divide by 5, it becomes 5 to the power 8. Can that be a perfect square? Yes. However, it is not. The value of k will not be an integer. It will be 1 over 10. Okay? So 1 over 10 is not an integer. So we cannot use that value. Okay? 3 questions. And a lot of people might confuse fraction can or not, integer can or not. This one important. Okay? Can, let's move on. 7a, x cubed factorize x cubed minus 16xy squared. Remember I talked about factorize, right? Factorize means what? Don't need to solve. Break down, put in the brackets. Factorize means put in the brackets. Okay, so you put in the brackets here. So from here, x cubed minus 16xy squared. Quite obvious. From itself, there's nothing you can do. But if we take out the x, we can do a lot of things really. We have an x squared minus 16y squared. Do you see that this is actually the third sacred line? The third line of my 3 sacred lines. For those of you who don't know my 3 sacred lines, go and see the article that I sent you all. Okay, so x, so this becomes x minus 4y, x plus 4y. Done. Does it matter the minus in front first or the plus in front first? No, it doesn't matter. As long as got plus and minus can already. Okay, you can see that my working answer and my final answer is different. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, moving on. X squared minus 5x plus 6. This one, you can do cross factorization or you can do observation like what I taught you guys. Because this is an x squared, so it's straightforward. 2 brackets. The term in front must be x. Okay, so I need to think of factors of 6 that adds up to 5. So the only option is 3 and 2. So I fill in it first. Then I look at the sign at the back. Because it's the plus sign, it means the signs in the brackets must be the same. Then you see, how do I get minus 5? So it must be minus 3, minus 2. Therefore, this is my answer. Okay, so this is how I do the observation method for factorizing. If you guys don't know the observation method, go and visit my previous stream as well. I've covered it inside there as well. Okay, So if you guys want the link to my previous streams, I can arrange it for you guys. So for those of you who did not, then I'll just continue from here. Okay, very straightforward questions. This should be 2 marks. This 2 marks is super easy to get. Super easy to get. In fact, how do I do it? This is only one. To me, there's no such thing called method mark. Oh, sorry, my answer wrong, then method mark. No. I'm very strict on this. If you can get the answer, you can get the answer. If you cannot get the answer, don't come complaining to us and say, hey, here got method mark leh, that one correct leh, that one careless leh. Sorry, if you careless means wrong, wrong means wrong. Wrong means wrong. I'd rather you aim for full marks than you aim for pass. Okay, maths is something that you can take full marks. Just aim for full marks. I will teach and give perfect answers. This is what I can guarantee. Okay, let's continue from here. So those of you who want to ace and get full marks, right? This is the way to go. Straight, short, sharp, simple, straightforward. Then you just go for full marks. Okay, let's continue. Like 8A. Oh, this one is my answer. Okay, represent -1 less than x, x more less than or equals to 2. Okay, very important. Here got 2 signs. Here one is a less than, one is less than equal. Less than is a circle. Remember, it means -1 is not included. Then you got 2. 2 is here. Draw a straight line. 搞定, 1 mark. Okay, like I mentioned, 1 mark should be instant. That means you should instantly get the answer without thinking at all. Okay, so 马上要拿的 instantly like that, 1 mark. Straightforward. Okay, solve the inequalities. -9, 4x -7, 9. Okay, so we look at it separately. And remember, for inequalities, we talk about changing signs. And what is the criteria that we change our signs? That means from less than to more than. Okay, is where we multiply or divide by a negative number. If not, don't do anything. Okay, let's continue. Let's see if we need to do anything here or not. So -9, so it's -9 plus 7. I push the 7 over to the other side, so -2 is 4x. So x is half. See, I didn't change any signs here because we never multiply or divide by any negative number. I divided by 4. I never divide by -4. So this shall be my correct answer. Okay, moving on. Let's solve the other half of the equation. Should be the same as well. So for x, this one becomes 16, this one becomes 4. So over here, a lot of people ask me, teacher, this one and this one do I put them together or keep them separate? Okay, it is wrong to put them separate. Okay, you cannot write like that. Then x, like that. This shows your lack of understanding of x. Okay, what you need to do, right? If you see that actually the x somehow lies in the between of the two numbers, it should always be strung together like this. Okay, so in a way you combine them both. Combine. Okay, 2 marks, very straightforward. That's it, very straightforward. Okay, correct? Let's move on. This one, because I saw the answer. I was doing it with my duty also. Okay, given the line 2x plus hy equals to k, cut the x-axis at 3, cut the y-axis at 6. Find the values of h and k. Okay, this one I must give a shout out to my maths teacher when I was in Sec 3. Okay, I don't know whether by any chance by big data or algorithms that my maths teacher is going to see this. Her name is Madam Nora. If she happens to see this, I'm going to extend a big thank you to her. But I remember very clearly one of our classes, she forced us to remember this. When x-axis, when y is 0 is the x-axis. When x is 0 is the y-axis. She forced us to remember this. I hated the experience. But today I really thank her so much for that. I'm one of her most hated students in Riverside Secondary School. Okay, I just openly say the school, Riverside. Okay, but that line until today, I'm turning 30 next month. I still remember. I was 15 years old back then, dude. It's like half my lifetime already. It's a half my lifetime. I still remember that statement. When y equals 0 is the x-axis, x equals 0, y-axis. She forces us to repeat again and again and again and again and again. Oh my goodness. Up till today, I did only now that I realized that how beneficial it was. I swear, really, really, really. Okay, so this one I hope to share with you guys. You guys should memorize it also. If you see x-axis, right, it means y equals 0. Y-axis, right, it means x equals 0. A lot of people overlook this fact. And then when they see the numbers over here, x equals 3, y equals to 6, they forgot. They don't know how to do with it. They mind blank, they panic. Okay, so it's really, this is very, very, very important. Okay, so coming down to this one. So, and I said x-axis cuts at 3, y-axis cuts at 6. What can we do? Okay, first of all, they already told me that when y equal to 0, x is 3. This is the one I can immediately link over. When y is 0, x is 3. Okay, so I can immediately put y equals to 0 because 2x equals to k. Because y is 0, hy no more already. So x equals to 3. 2x equal to k. What am I talking about? Okay, so 2 times 3 is k. So therefore k is 6. Straight away, without looking. This is how important that is. Okay, and at the same time, okay, let me just leave it here first. 2x equals to k. Okay, 2 times 3 equals to k. Therefore, k is 6. Okay, now x is 0, y is 6. So when x is 0, hy equals to k. Now I know that k is 6. So h times 6 equals to k. What's my k? 1. It's supposed to be that straightforward. Okay, 2 marks should be that straightforward. Okay, now moving on, the gradient of the line. Okay, once again, thank you, Madam Nora. I couldn't thank you enough for this. I don't know by any chance you'll get to see this, but a big thank you. Okay, moving on. Okay, the gradient of the line. So as you can see, what is on the screen right now is 2x plus hy equals to k. This is in the general form. But we want to put it in the gradient intercept form for us to visualize where is the gradient and what is the y-intercept. So from here, what do? I want to make y the subject of formula. Okay, 2x plus hy equals to k. I will just leave it as the variable first. Okay, later on, then you sub in the values of h and k. No rush for that. No rush. Okay, so hy equals to minus 2x plus k. So y equals to minus 2x over k over h plus k over h. So now we know h is 1. So what's the gradient? Minus 2? Okay, so from here, based on this observation, right, we already know what to do with it. Minus 2. Because h, I can just put in as 1. So you see, directly from here, the observation itself, I will already know instantly what to do. Okay, so this is 1 mark. 1 mark means what? Instant. You must know instantly what the answer is. So technically, all these like workings that we are doing here, right, it should be once you see the general form, right, you must immediately convert and know that, hey, I need to do it in the gradient intercept form. Immediate. Okay, immediate. Okay, moving on. Simplify 8a to the power of 0 divided by 2a squared. Okay, this one a lot of potholes and traps down there. Okay, let's take a look. A lot of people say, oh, 8a to the power of 0 are 1. Woo, 1. How many of you did that? How many of you did that? Confirm, right? Confirm have, right? Okay, it's no. The power of 0 only applies to a, not 8a. So it becomes 8 to the power 8 times 1 divided by 2a squared. 2a, the whole thing squared, it becomes 4a squared. So if I cancel that stuff out, I'll get 2 like that. So it'll be 2 over a squared. This is my answer. Okay. Next one. 8 divided by x to the power of 6 to the power of negative 1/3. A lot of people see negative power, they panic again. Panic. Every day panic. Don't panic for what? Okay? When you see negative power, okay, if you see negative power, the first thing you must do is to write down the reciprocal of it and make the power positive. This is always the first thing to do. Get rid of the negative sign on the exponent. Okay, this makes everything so much easier. Okay, and then from here, you know what to do already, man. If the x to the power of 6 to the power of 1/3, correct? So the powers can multiply. So it becomes x 6/3, which is 2. Okay. X squared. Okay. And then 8 to the power of 1/3. 8 to the power of 1/3 is what? Please lah, please. I tolong you guys, please. 8 to the power of 1/3. Please don't press calculator. It's just 2. You are looking at a cube root of 8. Okay. And 1/3 means cube root. 1/2 means square root. 1/5 means fifth root. Okay. Please don't go and press calculator 8 to the power of 1 divided by then fraction, press the function 1/3. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. Intuitive enough, you should know that 8 to the power of 1/3 is 2. People at other schools, right, they are already blazing through this paper. Please don't press calculator. Please don't. My personal plea to you guys, please don't press calculator. Okay, wow, it pains my heart, man. Really, really, really. Okay, 8 to the power of 1/3 is a cube root of 8, which is 2. In my previous streams, I encourage you guys to memorize your cube numbers. This is where it comes in. You see, cube numbers appear again. Okay, so 8 is 2 cubed. So please, it's just x squared over 2. It's supposed to be this straightforward. Oh. Okay, moving on. Y squared times square root of y cubed. Another one. Okay, people see this one, they panic. Okay, panic. Okay, don't panic, guys. This is a square root, right? So y squared times y cubed to the power of half. Same thing. The 3.5 can combine, man. So it becomes y squared times y to the power of 3/2. So when the terms multiply, the powers can plus. So this one, it becomes 2 plus 1.5, which is 3.5. In a way, y equals y to the power of 7/2 or y to the power of 3.5. Either way, it's fine. Okay, 2 marks. See, straight away. Can do one. Super easy one. Okay, moving forward. Okay, all my students died at this question, which is something that I really want to ask everyone. Have you guys learned this? It's a trigonometry ratio question. It's a basic question. The sine of an angle is 0.9. Give 2 positive values of the angle. Okay, I give 2 duties to do this paper already. I went through it. This is my 5th time doing this paper. Okay, but this question always stumped a lot of people. I have no idea why also. Somehow or other, they just can't handle this. So they have no idea what that's the question asking, and have no ideas why are there 2 blanks, and they have no idea what the hell is talking about. Okay, guys, if you guys don't know what it is, go back to watch my trigonometric live stream video. The trigonometric live stream video covers the basics, including this one. Okay, why? Trigonometry is a ratio. Okay, and the format to write it in a ratio is you write the ratio first, then you write the angle equals to a number. This is what it means. Sine theta is 0.9. That's it. So from here, how to find sine inverse? I don't know why people got so stuck into this. And then they realized that the basic angle is I think it should be 64 something. Yeah, 64.15. 64.15. That's the first angle. However, this is only one part of the blank. 64.2 to be exact. Okay. However, there is actually one more property that people need to remember, which is on the complementary angles, because we need to understand that sine theta is actually equals to the sine of its complementary angle. It gives me the same value. So from here, I also need to do 180 minus this 64.15 to give me 115.9. Okay. For rounding, rounding. How much do you round? Do you round up to 3 sig feet, 2 dp, 1 dp, or what? Okay, guys, angles always 1 dp. Money, dollar, cents, 2 dp. The rest 3 sig feet. This one standard rule. Okay, I say again, money 2 dp, angles 1 dp, the rest 3 sig fig. Okay, can. So here angle 1 dp. The more you do, you will understand how and why are we looking into this. Like you are talking about the degree of the accuracy here in our measuring instruments, like our vernier caliper, our ruler, protractor, all this. Okay, can. Okay, let's move on. Question 11. Standard form. The storage capacity of a portable hard disk is 1 TB. If average file size of a picture is 25 megabytes, how many picture files can be stored in the portable hard disk? Wow, one photo 25 megabytes, quite high. Even our iPhone high quality also not so high. But now this is just an estimate. 25 megabytes. 25 MB is feels quite big. The normal photo that we get in our if we take a photo with our iPhone is about 6 to 8 megabytes, depending on the amount of quality that you're looking at. 25 megabytes is a bit too high, unless you are really processing like graphic photos and stuff. Okay, just for information. So 1 TB is 1 times 10 to the power of 12. Average file size is 25 times 10 to the power of 6, 25 megabytes. So all we need to do is to do a standard form. Okay, if you don't remember what a standard form is, same thing, go back to see my previous stream. I got talk about it before. So 1 terabyte, so 1 times 10 to the power of 12. Okay, divided by 25 times 10 to the power of 6. Okay, so from here we can do I need to write 25 times 10 to the power of 6 into standard form? Don't need. Because that is not being used as my answer. It's only used as part of my working. A lot of people may confuse, when need to change, when do you need to change? If you are required to write down your answers in standard form, then the standard form will apply. Otherwise, I'm just doing 25 times 10 to the power of 6. It's just a working. Don't freak out. Okay, don't freak out. So it's just as it is. Okay. So as I will do this question, I will just look at the number itself. It will be 0.04 times 10 to the power of 6. Okay. However, I cannot put this number there. I can't put this number 0.04 times 10 to the power of 6. In the standard form rules, it's wrong. And it doesn't make sense because I'm looking at how many picture files. If I were to do, then I convert to standard form to help me gain some sense into what kind of number is this. So if we were to move 2 decimal places, it's actually 4 times 10 to the power of 4. Okay. For me, I will just write 4 times 10 to the power of 4 already. If it's me. But I saw the answer key. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure whether is this possible or valid. To me, this is valid. Or some people just straight away write 40,000. 4 zeros, man. 40K files. And the answer key accepted this. But for me, as I practice my standard forms well, I will want to use 4 times 10 to the power of 4 instead. Both also can. I certainly believe both answers are acceptable. Okay, let's continue from here. Continue from here. So far, okay, right? Okay. B. The rate of transfer of data from a portable hard disk to a computer is 45 megabytes per second. Find in gigabytes the amount of data transferred in 20 minutes. Okay, 4.5 megabytes per second. Okay, so it's 4.5 times 10 to the power of 6. Okay, this is 1 second. I want 20 minutes. So how? 1 second, how many minutes? 1 minute, how many seconds? 1 minute, how many seconds? 1 minute is 60 seconds. 60. How many minutes? Okay. So this number that you see over here, 4.5 times 10 to the power of 6 times 60 is 1 minute. I want 20 minutes. Then I multiply 20 again. See, your working should be this straightforward. Okay. And if you don't know what to do, same thing. Never mind. Key calculator. Key calculator. Never mind one. If you don't know how to calculate, just key calculator. So you got 5400 times 10 to the power of 6. Okay. So from here, how? 1 gigabyte is 10 to the power of 9. Okay. I cannot just write this, guys. I cannot write this. This is wrong. This is megabytes. I need to do some conversion. That means, right, I need to have a number times 10 to the power 9. Then this number in this blank is what my answer is, because 10 to the power 9 is gig. Okay, so I need to do 1, 2, 3. So it's 5.4. Therefore, it's 5.4 gigabytes. Okay, just like that. 2 marks, very straightforward. Okay, I think I can finish this paper by 7 p.m. today. Quite straightforward. Okay, on the conversions. Let's continue. Kurt's electric store purchased TV sets from a wholesaler for 2,560 each. The store sells the TV set at 70% higher than the price they paid for it. Find the selling price. Simple. I'm looking at 170% times 2,560. This one, don't even need to do, or don't even need to think. You just need to understand that the original price is 100%. I paid for 70% higher, it's 170%. That's all. Okay, think in percentage. Okay, so I just take 170 times 2,560, and my answer is 4,352. See, 1 mark, instant. I told you guys already, 1 mark should be instant. Okay, now, because they have membership, given X% discount. So this Kenny, who is a member of the store, buys the TV set for 3,699.20. So this is a discounted price. 3,699.20 is a discounted price. I need to find how much is the percentage discount that was being given. Quite straightforward. Okay, so 4,352 minus 3,699.20 over the original selling price, which is 4,352 times 100%. Okay, so this should be your working. Straight away write down already. 4,352 minus 3,699.2, and then divided by 4,352, then you will get 15% discount. X equals to 15. Okay, this one key calculator can already. You don't even need any of the mental math calculation tricks that I taught you all last time or to my duties. Don't need, just do calculator. If we can use the calculator, we must use it fast and accurate. If we were to use our mental abilities, we must use it fast and accurate. This is what I always emphasize. Okay, let's continue. Calculate the percentage profit made by the electric store from Kenny's purchase. Okay, now we need to understand what are we comparing. Now we are comparing the 3,699.20, which is the person who bought it, the price that the person bought it, and from the wholesaler who bought it from 2,560. Okay, this is the two numbers we're looking at. So 3,699.20 minus 2,560 over 2,560 times 100%. This is what we're looking at. Okay, so 3,699.2 minus 2,560 divided by 2,560 times 100. Okay, so you get 44.5%. Okay, very straightforward. 2 marks only. Working come out can do it. Okay, let's continue. Simplify 9x squared plus 5 minus this whole thing. Okay, at this point of time here, we are looking at some expansions. Okay, not by grouping, can't do by grouping. The only way that we can do this question is to just expand what's in the bracket. But very important, a lot of people fall for this mistake, is when they open the bracket, they remove the bracket. Okay, which is not supposed to be the case. Yeah, where is it? Here. So I copy what I have here. Very important, as I expand, I always keep my stuff there. Keep my bracket there. So I open 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. Okay, I sidetrack a bit for this expansion. If at this point, both Sec 3 and Sec 4 students, this message go out to you. If at this point, if you are looking at 3x minus 2 squared and you are writing this, I see too many students doing this. Then equals to, so what they're writing, they write like that. 3x squared minus 2ab plus 2 square. If at this point you are writing like the whole format, because we know that okay, a minus b square equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. If at this point, okay, this goes up to, I say again, it's super important. If you are writing this first, you are too slow. Too slow. Too slow. By now, you should have gained enough practice and mastery such that you are able to immediately see the question itself and write out the final identity, which is 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. It doesn't take a lot of practice. It doesn't take a lot of practice because by now you are able to identify 3x, the 3x the whole thing squared is 9x squared. 2ab. So you write, so when you say the identity, you map to numbers. 2 times 3 times 2, 12. Write it down. 2 squared, 4. Done. Please don't spend your precious time. Go and write this whole thing. Too slow. Too slow. Cannot. I know it's for practice. I say again, I know it's for practice. But your practice should be practicing yourself to write down the final expansion immediately. Not to practice yourself looking at the structure. If you practice too much looking at the structure, you will only depend on the structure. Then you will not be able to do it fast enough because you will condition yourself to want to look at the structure before looking at the question or the final expansion. That is a waste of time. Do not do that. Okay, this one, very serious message. So please do not spend time writing this again. Please don't. The current level of expansion, right? The numbers that they give is actually very, very small. Just open it up like that and move on. Okay, come, let's continue from here. You see that I keep my brackets there because why? There is a minus sign in front. When there's a minus sign in front, it will impact all the signs I have in the bracket itself. Okay, so I need to write it out again. Okay, this is something that I want to still write to make myself clear. Just now that one can only write, but this one I will still want to write extra line to make myself clear of the different changes in signs. Okay, so from here, cancel 9x squared, no more. 12 plus, okay, 12x plus 5 minus 4, I'll get 12x plus 1. That's it. Okay, moving on. 2 mark, express 3 over x plus 3 plus 4 over x minus 2 as a single fraction. Okay, super easy. Without even looking, you know what to do with it. Cross multiply. Okay, this is the time when they say cross multiply. And I know that a lot of students get very confused over this. When you cross multiply, when don't you cross multiply? Some tutors say have, some tutors say cannot use cross multiply, some say cross multiply. When you use cross multiply? The reason when we say cross multiply is because I want to make the denominator the same. So I do cross multiply. Okay, but a lot of students, when they grow up from primary schools, they are not conditioned to this act of cross multiplying. That's why they get confused. Okay, this one I sidetrack a bit because I feel a big need to address this so that people won't get confused. What is cross factorizing? What is not cross factorizing? Then they blur, then they cry. Okay, when teacher says cross factorizing in primary school, let me go down the history lane and understand how we learn fractions in the past. Okay, in the past, how we learn fractions is this. Whenever we have 1/3 plus 1/4, remember how you guys do it? Teacher say change to same denominator. Okay, so it's 4 over 12 plus 3 over 12. That gives me 7 over 12. Correct? Does it ring a bell? In the primary school days, this is what we did. Okay, They never not taught of what is this thing called cross multiply. Then in secondary school, this term gets misused. Okay, essentially what I'm doing here on the left hand side for this question is essentially not cross multiplying. It is just making the same common. It's just making them the same common denominator. Let me show you what I mean. Going back to the same question, 1/3 plus 1/4. When I say cross multiply, or when people do the act of cross multiplying, they're just multiplying 1 times 4 to 12. Okay? Plus 1 times 3. That gives me 7/12. It's just like that. This is what we call the butterfly method. But this butterfly method is not taught in primary schools because primary schools are only stuck to using common denominators. Okay, so this butterfly method that I've shown over here on the right hand side is supposed to be the quickest way to solve for fractions, in which in secondary terms is called cross multiplying. Okay, so because in primary schools, students are not exposed to the butterfly method. Therefore, when they come to secondary school, they got confused on what to multiply. Okay, technically, if they are following the primary school method, I'm going to map it out and show you guys what I mean. In primary school, I would say 95% of people are doing this. Right? So if I want to map this method into a secondary school question, how would it look like? It will look something like this. This is correct. As you can see, the final result is also 2 terms. Then we combine the 2 terms together to give me a single fraction. But nowadays, teachers don't teach it this way. They will lump everything together, write one single denominator, like that. Then the whole class goes mad. The whole class go crazy because they have never seen this kind of thing before. Okay, that's why I say that there must be a new way and we must evolve in the way that we are teaching mathematics. It is not consistent in the primary school and secondary school levels. There is a big need for a change, or rather a proper alignment about what are the methods that's being taught. Okay, I teach my students the butterfly method since primary school. So when they come to secondary school, they have no problems. Okay, so in primary school, if we have learned the butterfly method, the 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3. Then from here, we can know immediately there is a 4 plus 3 is 7, the bottom of the denominator you multiply. Which is what, if we were to map it over to the question on the right, or the left-hand side, is exactly what the teachers are teaching now. I'm not saying that the teachers are doing it wrong. The teachers are doing it correctly. However, the students have a misalignment of what they learned in primary school and secondary school. It creates a mismatch. It creates a big mismatch that students are confused. This is why they hate fractions, and this is why they hate algebra. Okay, this is the number one reason why people are hating algebra and fractions, because the primary school methods and the secondary school methods are not aligned. Okay, so I hope that with this small clarification, people will understand that these both methods are the same thing. They are the same thing. They are just presented differently. Okay, so moving on from here. Okay, please do not call this a cross factor or cross multiplying method. Cross multiplying only applies when I say like that. I cross multiply because there's an equal sign in the middle. So 4 times 7x equals to 12 times 3. This is where I cross multiply to make them the same, to compare quantities. Okay? So I got very fed up when I see people use cross multiplying like all over the place. Then they themselves get confused. Okay. Enough of ranting. Come back to here. Okay. So from here, I make them the same denominator already. Then I will want to expand them and do solve for it. Okay. So it will be 6x minus, no, not 6x. So it's 3x minus 6 plus 4x plus 12. Then over x plus 3x minus 2. So my final answer will be 7x plus 6 over x plus 3x minus 2. Okay? Or in fact, you don't even need to write this. You don't even need to write this. Because once you have understood the butterfly method, you can immediately do the multiplying like that already. You can straight away do the multiplying already. And then you can straight away come to the second step. You can do that. As long as you can present the second step, you are all good to go. Okay? Okay, let's continue. Given that S equals to PQ minus 2R squared over Q, express Q in terms of S, P, and R. Simple as that. This is a very simple expressed in the subject or formula question. No reason to get it wrong. 3 marks, easy, free, low-hanging fruit. That means express Q in terms of everything else. That means Q must be alone in the left-hand side. The rest, no matter how ugly it is on the right-hand side. That's what it means. Okay, a very common strategy that I always say is always to group all the terms related to Q together, strip out the Q as a common factor, and throw everything else back to the right-hand side. This is the most easiest and most effective strategy to use. Let's take a look how we can use it here. First, look at the expression. Where are the Qs? There's one here, there's one here. Okay, so I need to find a way to put them together. So can I say that I multiply by Q throughout? I'll get Qs equals to PQ minus 2R squared. Like that. Okay, now, same thing. I keep saying my plan. My plan is to put all the terms related to Q to one side first. So Qs minus PQ equals to minus 2R squared. So everything that is related to Q is on the left-hand side. I take out Q as a common factor. So leaving me S minus P in the bracket equals to minus 2R squared, and then I throw everything back to the right-hand side. Done. Common and straightforward question. This one, no reason to get it wrong. No reason to get it wrong. Minus 2R squared over S minus P. Super straightforward. Okay? No matter how ugly the right-hand side is, no need positive, negative, whatever, don't care. As long as there's nothing on the right-hand side that contains Q, and it has only Q on the left-hand side, we are good. Okay? Straightforward. 3 marks, you see? Like that, 3 marks, Wow, free, this one to me. Damn free. Okay, let's move on. In the diagram, AB 16, CD 18, ABC 90 degrees. Tangent BAC is 3/4, BCDE is a straight line. Find BC. BC is here. Okay, from here, are there any information that can help us to solve the problem? There is, because we have tangent BAC is 3/4. This is what we need to have. Okay, tangent BAC. Where's BAC? BAC is here. So tangent, if you recall, tangent is what? Opposite over adjacent. So can I say that BC over 16 is 3/4? That is what we are looking at. Remember, tangent is a ratio. It's a trigonometric ratio. It's to compare two lengths of any of the three in terms of the proportion in lengths. So depending on which two lengths that you are comparing in the right angle triangle, you use sine, cosine, or tangent. Remember, sine, cosine, tangent are ratios. Okay, 讲很多次了, many times already. Okay, so this one, BC over 16 is 3/4. BC is 12. Instant. 1 mark. Don't need to think so much. Okay, for those of you who don't know why is it 12, need to calculate 4B. what? This is where cross multiplying comes in. Okay, 4BC equal to 3 times 16. Then BC equal to 48 divided by 4, 12. Yeah, please. If you guys are doing this, you guys are too slow. Too slow. Too slow. Okay. Arm yourself with some basic mental skills. Can see one means can see one. And it's 3/4. So it's how? 4, 8, 12, 16. What's the third number? 12? Done. Okay, it's supposed to be direct lah. Or rather, you can say 16 divided by 4 is 4. This is a primary school method. Then something divided by 4 is 3. What's BC? 12? Okay, in this case, cross multiplying don't even need to be used here. Okay, it's a primary school question, guys. It's a primary school way of looking at it. It's Sec 3, Sec 3 paper. Yes, primary school skills can be used. I recently solved a Sec 4 A-Max 4-mark question with a primary school problem solving method. It still works and it is still correct. Okay, guys, don't forget your primary school stuff. It is super important. Okay, come back to here. Find AD. Okay, now I know BC is 12. Let's write it in. Find AD. Do you see that now ABD forms a right angle triangle? So we can do what? We can do what? We can do our Pythagoras theorem. Okay. So I want to draw it over here. 16. I need to find the full length for BD, which is 30. Okay. So if we were to see, I can just straight away do the calculations over here, and then we will see that, okay, so answer will be square root of 16 square plus 30 square. Okay, then that will give me 34. Okay, another way we can look at this is this. Another way we can look at it at this question is where I can divide. Remember last time we have talked about this thing called the Pythagoras triplets. If you guys still remember. Okay, so if I divide by 2, this is 8. Divide by 2, 15. You see that? 8, 15. These are my Pythagoras numbers. Okay, I'm going to show you guys here. 8, 15. So if there's an 8, there's a 15. What should be here? 17 straight away. So the answer will be 34. 17 times 2, 34. It's supposed to be straight away. Okay? Answers can be seen instantly. And yes, it is correct. Because I know my Pythagoras triplets well. So guys, know your Pythagoras triplets. Okay? It will always appear. Okay? Moving on. So this is the first method. Okay? And this is the second method. So depending on your comfort level, both ways works. Both ways works. Now, cosine ADE. Where's ADE? Oh, ADE is this obtuse angle over here. So you must know a cosine of an obtuse angle. Now we are talking about obtuse angle. So we must know that how is it being related to the acute angle. So let's recap. In fact, when I teach trigonometry, right, the way that I teach my students to do it is to test values. Go and test calculated value. You don't have to remember them. Go and test values. So if I press cosine 50, 0.642. I press cosine 130. Oh, it's the negative of this answer. So what does it mean? Okay, as you can see over here, cosine 130 is negative and cosine 50 is the positive. So you can see that according to this test, we can realize that cosine ADE is the negative of cosine of ADB. So when I find cosine ADB, do I need to find a value? No. Because I already got the values of the measurements that we're looking at over here. So now I take ADB as theta. Cosine, so this is 34. Cosine means BD over DA. As you can see, is the cosine cosine means I forgot your Togaso thing adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent is BD. Okay, so it's minus BD over DA, which is minus 15 over 17. That's my answer. Okay, like we said, because I already know my Pythagoras triplets. So a lot of you guys, the majority of you will be looking at minus 30 over 34. Then I need to simplify. Okay, in a way, I did my simplification process in my previous part already. So job's done. Okay, so like I mentioned to you, there are certain tricks and certain numbers that you all can help to remember in advance to help you guys to answer these questions faster. Very importantly, faster and with more efficiency. Okay. Okay, come. 15. Solve the simultaneous equations. Super easy, this one I would say super easy. How many marks? 3 marks. One whole page for you to write. Super easy. So you can see there are two ways to solve simultaneous equations. One is the substitution. Number two, our elimination. Okay, there's a third way lah, but this third way is not officially recognized by MOE. So I saw the answer key and they say that it's any method as long as elimination or substitution. I want to use the Vedic way, but let's not go there lah. Okay. So moving forward from here, let's see how we can do it. So same thing. Number one, write down your equations. Okay, name them. Super easy. 10x equals 10x minus 3y is 108. This is 2. So from here, what can we do? Both ways work. Okay, I want, in this case, let's just use a substitution, for example, because I see got 2x and 10x, man. So if I take equation 1 multiplied by 5, I'll get 10x equals to 60 plus 15y. That's my equation 3. Okay, so I sub equation 3 into equation 2. So I'll get 60 plus 15y minus 3y is 108. So 16 plus 12y is 108. 12y equals 1 equals to 48. Y equals to 4. Super simple. Okay, super simple. Okay, now y equals to 4. Let's put it back into our answer. Let's y equals to 4 first. 4. And then x. Let's sub. Okay, what do I sub in? I sub y equals to 4 into either equation 1 or equation 2. Let's go back to the original one, the most easiest one. Okay, into 1. So 2x equals to 12 plus 3y. So equals to 12 plus 3 times 4, which is 24. So x equals to 12. 2x 24, x is 12. Done. Okay, see? 3 marks. Shouldn't take you more than 2 minutes. If you're taking more than 2 minutes for this question, I'm sorry, you are too slow. Okay? Another way is how can I eliminate terms? I can from equation 1, I can turn the terms around. I see there's a 3y there, so I can add both equations together to eliminate my 3y, so I can solve for x first. That way works as well. Up to you, based on your comfort level. From here, what I'm doing here is the substitution. Okay, super easy. Okay, as long as the workings are clear, no careless mistakes in the calculations, you should get this answer as well. X is 12, y is 4. Super easy. Okay, let's continue. On a particular day, the exchange rate between pounds and SGD is 1 to 1.87. On the same day, the exchange rate between euros and pounds is 1 euro to 0.86 pounds. Okay, Claire, change 200 pounds to Singapore dollars. How many Singapore dollars do you receive? So this is quite easy. So $1 is equals to 1.87. So now it's 200. So it's 200 times 1.87. So it's quite straightforward. It's 3.74 times 100. So it's just SGD $374. Okay, 1 mark, instant. Okay, now Don converted $500 to euros. Okay, now I need to you see that now it's dollars to euros. I need to convert to pounds first. So dollars to pounds to euros. Okay, so I need to convert to pounds first. To how many pounds? Let's see how many pounds are. So SGD $500 is equals to 500 divided by 1.87 euros. Pounds first. Okay, so 500 divided by 1.87, you will get this very weird ass number, 267.71 over 187 euros. Now I need to convert this to 1 pound. This pound, this pound. Confusing. This is pounds. I need to convert it to euros. So the number of euros I will get is equals to 287, this answer, okay, divided by 0.86. Why? Because 0.86 pounds is equal to 1 euro. Okay, so from here, you divide by 0.86, you'll get 310. So it'll be 310.9066. So same thing, money, when it comes to money, it's always in 2dp. 310.1, 0.91. So 310.91. Okay? Straightforward. Okay, next. 17A. The restaurant owner pays a waiter an amount of $8 per week. The amount is made out of basic wage of 60 plus 11 cents for each of the end customers he serves. Find a formula connecting A and N. Super easy. So the amount he received will be $60, which is fixed, plus 11 cents units. So it's 0.11 times N. Done. So A will be 60 plus 0.11 N. That's it. 1 mark, straightforward. After a while, the owner of the restaurant decided to change, okay, waiter's basic wage to $45, but to increase the pay to 17 cents for each of the end customers he serves. Write down another formula for A equals to NN. So same thing, A equals to 45 plus 17 cents, 0.17 N. Okay, super straightforward. 1 mark should be what? Like I said, 1 mark should be instantaneous. Okay, answer should be instantaneous. Okay, find the number of customers you have to serve in a week for him to receive the same amount of money as before the changes in wage payment. That means these both expressions I must get a value of N for these both values to be the same. Okay, so I need to solve for N. Solve for N. Just like that. Okay, super easy. Okay, so 60 minus 45 is equals to 0.06 N. Can you see that? So 15 equals to 0.06 N. So N equals to 15 divided by 0.06. You get 250. customers. Okay, I'm not sure where I've not worked in F&B before or being a server or waiter. I don't know whether does this financial model works on how they are being paid. I have no idea. I have really no idea. I have no idea. Maybe those of you who have worked in F&B before, you guys can tell me whether is this a reasonable model for how F&B waiters are being paid. That means for every number of customers that you serve, you all get like 10 cents to 17 cents. Is it? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Okay, so if I were to just digress a bit and calculate what is the weekly pay. So it's like, let's say I take the second plan. So 17 cents for each customer. Then 250 customers in 1 week. Okay, so 45 plus 0.7 times 250. I'll get 87.50. $87.50. That's 1 week. Times 5 times 4 weeks. I'll get $350 per week. Quite weird. If I'm only receiving a monthly payment of $350 if I'm working 4 weeks at this rate. Maybe this is a per day thing lah. Maybe it's a per day thing. So of course, by customers, there could be more in a day lah. Maybe I don't know, 1,000 customers. To make this number more reasonable. Okay, just for fun. I don't know the exact numbers. I really don't know the exact numbers, but it's always good to stretch our thinking a bit more to really relate our questions to everyday life. For example, every day that we go McDonald's and we go to other fast food restaurants, okay, how are they being paid? We will never know. But solving these questions on paper can give us a brief answer or maybe a brief idea on how the model works. Are they really being, like, for example, if the McDonald's waiters do table service, they serve the food to your table, does that count as one customer and they earn 10 cents for it? Or maybe for a person who is working at the cashier at the McDonald's counter, then the number of people who buy at the counter, then the cashier keys in the order and process the order, gets 10 cents or 15 cents. Does that work that way? We don't know, but probably that could be a relative reasonable financial model and a payment scheme for the people. See, so through these questions, I myself learned that these are some of the possible scenarios also. Okay, but at least we keep the curiosity alive lah. That's what I feel. Okay, so I also hope and to encourage people while you guys are doing these kind of math questions, spend some time into thinking a bit more into our real life context. Okay, let's continue from here. Okay, sketch the graph of y equal to x minus 1, x plus 5. This one, no brainer. Okay, straight away, go and plot out your actual intercepts. -5, 1. This one, confirm must come out first. Okay, then we must know whether it's happy face or sad face. It must be a happy face. So straight away, draw the curve. Okay, then we adjust along from there. Because it's an iPad thing, iPad thing. So I can just do this. Then I adjust. Okay, so I say -1 is about here. Okay, so I align it accordingly. But of course, for those of you doing on paper, immediately you must know that this is a 1. This is a -5. Straightforward one. Okay, then from there, we can find what? We can find the middle point, which is the line of symmetry, which is the midpoint between 1 and -5. In this case, it will be how many? 1 and 5, 6, 2, 3, -1. So a lot of people ask me how I calculate so fast. If you were to calculate by a normal way, so 1 minus -5 divided by 2, no need. I just look at here. How many units are there apart? 5 plus 1, 6 units apart. So it will be 3. So the midpoint should be 3 units apart from either end. So this one will be -2. Okay, straight away. Okay, so when this is -2, what is my turning point? Which is at the bottom over here. Okay, so I know that this one should be a -2. Let me just plot it over here. So when y equals to -2, so y equals to -2. -2 minus 1 is -3. -2 plus 5 is 3. So it should be -9. So the lowest point here should be -9. Like that. Okay, at the same time, I also need to find out my y-intercept as well. Y-intercept, x equal to 0. When x is 0, my y-intercept will be -5. So this will be my answer. Okay, straightforward. 2 marks. These are the exact things you need to do. So next question, part 2. Write down the equation of the line of symmetry. X equals to -2. Straight away. It is supposed to be a vertical straight line. A lot of people forgot how to name their line of symmetry. It is supposed to be an X line, not a Y line. A lot of people, because we are too used and too conditioned to, y equal mx plus c, y equal mx plus c, y equal to something, but they forgot that a line can use x equal something. Okay, so this one is just a small reminder. It can be used as x equals something as well. It is means it is a vertical line. It is a vertical line along the parallel to the y-axis. Okay, you just cut at x-axis at one point, and you will never cut the y-axis. Okay, important this one. So you can just mark this point as a -2, -9, -9. Like that. Okay, straightforward. Okay, let's move on. Express x squared plus 6x plus 7 in the form of x plus a squared plus b. This one, completing the square. You see, completing the square is only 2 marks, so it's a very important concept for everyone to know. Okay, straight away is x plus 3 squared minus 2. Straight away, you are supposed to see immediately. Why? Because the number at a is half of this value. Okay, of course we can write it out to be like that. Because in order for us to make the first 2 terms completing a perfect square, I need to have a 9. Why 9? Because it's 6/2, the whole thing square. Same thing. If you are still writing this, guys, you are still writing this, you are too slow. Too slow. Unless the number big, don't say. But these are small numbers, you should know the answer instantly already. Okay, so it'll be 6/2, 3 squared, 9. Okay, 9. And then from 9 to 7, what do I need to do? -2. Done. So this one becomes my x plus 3 squared minus 2. Okay, so people might ask, how do I get the answer so immediately? Okay, without writing all this stuff. Okay, it's a common sense already. Because by now I know that this is actually 3x plus 3 squared. So how do I get the -2 at the back? I just look at the last 2 numbers here. 3 squared, 9. From 9 to 7, -2, done. So you see, as I write my answer, I'm actually also constructing the answer along the way. That's how it's supposed to be done. Because this is exactly how completing the square works. Okay? Why is it like that? Okay, I'll leave that to next time. But now we're talking about solving the question. Know the tricks to do it immediately. Okay? Hence, solve this one. So a lot of people at this point of time say, oh, I can do quadratic formula law, I can do cross factorization law. No. Hence means we must use this one. We must use this one. So rewrite it out like this. So x plus 3 equals to 2. Like that. We need to solve it this way. And then therefore, x plus 3 equals to plus and minus of square root 2. This is what we need to do. Okay? So from here, it will be x equals to square root 2 minus 3 or minus square root 2 minus 3. This will be my answer. Okay? So if you key in the calculator, you'll get square root 2 minus, so square root 2 minus 3. You'll get this one. Okay, so this is about negative 1.58-ish. Okay, so this is negative 1.58578. So 3 sig fig will be negative 1.59. So this is my first answer. Second one, negative square root 2, then negative square root 2. Just for clarity, I show you guys everything. You'll be like that. Negative 4.4142135562. Okay, so it'll be or negative 4.4142 lah. Okay, so same thing, 3 sig fig 4.41. Okay, done. 3 marks. So of course, can we do a quick check on to this question whether did we get the answers correctly? Yes, of course we can. Just straight away use the calculator, solve for it. So 167. Yes, my answer is correct. I'm using a sharp calculator, by the way. Yeah, so you can see that the roots are also the same as what we have gotten here on the screen. So therefore, this answer is correct and we are good to go. 3 marks, simple. Okay, shouldn't be a problem at all. Okay, let's continue. 19. The frequency f hertz of a note produced by a string is proportional to the square root of the tension, Newton, of the string. Okay, straight away, without continuing, write down the equation already. F equals to k square root t. Okay, so when tension is 81, the string produces a note with a frequency of 405 hertz. Okay, 405 hertz. So 405 hertz, we put in the variables already, just like that. So k equals to k times 405 equals to 9k. So what's k? K is 45. And therefore, find the equation containing f and t. So f equals to 45 square root t. Just like that. 2 marks. Okay, when we talk about direct and inverse proportion, the first thing that we need to do is always find the k. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing else to it. Either that after you find the k, then they give you some other values to go and put in and then to solve for unknowns, or they solve for like proportions. This is the only thing they can test. Okay, but the first thing is always to find k. Find k. So once we found the k, put it back inside the first equation here, and we are good to go. Okay, moving on. See, the string produces a note with a frequency of 540 hertz. So using the new equation that we found with the k value as 45, find the tension. So 540 equals to 45 square root of t. So square root of t will be equals to 540 divided by 5. Okay, let me check my streamer. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. I don't know how long my Facebook got lagging, but I think, yeah, so be it. Okay, so 45. So to find the square root value of square root t, I take 4540 divided by 45, I get 12. So square root of t is 12. What's t? 12 square, 144. Done. Same thing, memorize your square numbers. Memorize your square numbers and you can breeze through this. Don't spend time pressing 12 times 12 on your calculator. Don't need. Straight away right now. Okay? For two identical strings, the ratio of the frequencies of the notes produced is 3 to 1. Find the new ratio of the tension in the strings. Okay, very interesting to this question. Okay, so first of all, we get f equals to square root of f equal to 45 times square root of t. Now I need to produce a new note which is 3f. Because 3 times ma. So in order for this to happen, I need to have a 3 times over here. So how do I solve this thing? Okay, I always share with my students, find the old shadow in the new value. Find the old shadow in the new value. That means in a new form of f, I need to find where are the traces of f I need to get. Okay, so from here, can I say that 45 times 3 times square root t? Yes. And for this square root t, how do I need to go and find the square root t? Can I say it's also 45 times square root of 9 times square root t? And then as I combine it, it's actually 45 to the power of 9t. Okay? So as you can see from here, where is the old shadow? The old shadow is 45 square root t. Where is it? It's actually over here, 45 and square root t. This is my old shadow. This whole thing is my new value. So now what is protruding out is the square root 9. Now I need to put the square root 9 back into the t and see what is the difference in the t, in the value of t that allow me to give me my new value. Okay, so you can see now the ratio is actually 9 to 1. Because I'm comparing now t and 9t. Therefore, it's 9 to 1. That's it. Okay, 1 mark. Supposed to be quite instant, but I spent a bit more time to explain this. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Good. All's good. Okay, let's continue. Hopefully my Facebook is working. I think it's working. Okay, good. Let's continue from here. And then, okay. Yeah, should be all right, should be all right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, question 20. We are coming to the end already, actually. Just nice. Let's finish this and we can end off. Okay, each term in this sequence is found by adding the same number to the previous term. Okay, it's quite unfortunate I learned this only in JC when they call this thing called AP. Okay, in JC we got this thing called AP-GP. AP stands for arithmetic progression, and GP stands for geometric progression. Okay, so what does this arithmetic and geometric progression means? And in fact, in as early as secondary school here, we already see that we are actually using this thing called AP. What does AP means? AP just means this one. Adding the same number to the previous term. That means there is a common difference. That's an AP. Okay, that means every time I move from one digit or one number to another, it's actually the same number. So from here, how can we actually observe it? If we were to think a bit further into this, adding the same number to the previous term, from 7 to 19, I don't know what's A, I don't know what's B, I don't know what's C. Correct. But can I see how many times it jumped? 7 to A, 1 time. A to B, 2 times. B to 19, 3 times. It jumped 3 times to have a value of 12. So 19 minus 7 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So this is my common difference. Can you see that? So from here, it's super easy because it's 4, 4, 4. So 7 plus 4, 11. 11 plus 4, 15. What is C? C is right after 19. 19 plus 4, 23. Done. 2 marks. This is how simple it should be. Okay? So this is just by looking at the pattern and see how fast you can get the pattern only. Because it jumped, adding to previous term. So you see it jump 1 time, jump 2 times, jump 3 times. So the number that is given to us is only 19 and 7. There's nothing else to analyze. So take a closer look at the numbers, then 19 and 7, and go and observe what is the pattern over there. That's how you solve it. That's all. Okay, very straightforward. B, write down an expression in terms of n for the n term. They're asking for what? The general term. There are 2 ways to do it. Okay, one is the Singaporean way, one is the international way. I'll share both methods. Number 1 is called the A plus n minus 1D. I don't know how many guys of you learned this, but I've realized that over the past years, it has been coming to us nearer and nearer. As in this method has been taught to students earlier and earlier. So this is A plus n minus 1D. For those of you who don't know, what does this mean? A is first term. D is the common difference, which is the 4 that we talk about. The common difference. I'm just going to write it here. Okay, so using this idea, can we go and find what we're looking for? Yes, definitely we can. So I'm just going to circle it. I'm going to put it up there. Okay, so A, what's my A? A is 7 plus n minus 1. D is 4, like that. So it will be 7 plus 4n minus 4, which gives me 4n plus 3. That's my answer. Okay, a lot of you may comment or may feedback, say, okay, this one may be a bit complicated because A plus n minus 1D is a formula that I don't want to remember for some oddball reason. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. Okay, allow me to introduce you a second method. The second method is this. Here's the thing, very important, because this is something that's not taught in Singapore schools. Given this same logic, we know that the common difference is 4. Based on this logic, what should be the previous term? 3, right? 7 minus 4 lah. What plus 4 gives me 3? What plus 4 gives me 7? 3. Okay, that's my 3. Plus dn. Ta-da! It's really dn. So yeah, dn. Okay. So how do we understand the second one, which is the term 0 plus dn? Personally, I prefer the second method. It's faster. It's more straightforward. That means I use the same logic and imagine what is the previous term before the first term, which is n, which is 3 in this case. So 3 plus 4n. So for me, I will just immediately, if I will see this question, I will just immediately say, oh, this is 3 plus 4n, done. 1 mark. Instant. It's supposed to be instant. So once you can write out 3 plus 4n or 4n plus 3, you are good to go. You don't need to write out a plus n minus 1d, sub in, sub, solve, then careless mistake somewhere, then wrong. Okay, don't need. So 3 plus 4n, 4n plus 3, both is fine. Both is fine. Okay? Okay? Okay, let's move on. Write down the 25th term of this sequence. Super easy. 25 times 4 plus 3, 103. 25 times 4, 100. If you up to today, if you don't know 25 times 4 is 100, please visit your primary school math stuff. 25 times 4 is 100. You all have played enough percentages, played enough fractions, played enough decimals to understand 25 times 4 is 100. If you guys don't know 25 times 4 is 100, go and slap yourself. Okay, this one is by now you should know already. So 25 times 4, 100, 100 plus 3, 103. Very straightforward. 1 mark only. 1 mark, instant answer. Okay, continue. Question 21. Bearing. Bearing. Okay, the diagram shows the position of 3 towns PQR. PQR isosceles. The bearing of AQ from P is 1, 2, 3, and angle PRQ is 46. Okay, so from here, I always advise my students when it comes to angles, whether is it bearing or non-bearing, write down and see things that, write down certain angles or note down certain lines that are equal. Here they indicated that PQR is isosceles, and they also indicated PQ is equals to PR because of the lines over there. Okay, so what else can we actually infer? Can we infer the angle PQ is 46? I don't know whether this will help me or not. Write down first lah. No harm, right? So write down first. Okay, so whether or not you help me, we'll take a look at the next questions that they're asking. But at least we write it down and we keep a check first. Okay, so let's continue with the questions. Part A. Find the bearing of R from P. Very important. The thing about bearing is that you need to know very clearly where are you and what you're looking. Where you are from and where you are looking and which direction you're looking at. Okay, now I said R from P. It is different from P from R. These two are different things. It's a different answer. So very important. They are not the same. So find the bearing of R from P. Okay, what is the most important one? From where? Where are you? You are, which spot you are standing on. So now it's from P. That means you are here. So from P, I look at R. So R should be somewhere behind me. Okay, so how do you know where we are facing? Okay, we always remember, we always face north. We always face north. Okay, so that means, right, this is so interesting. Okay, so R from P. Interesting. So that means I need to actually, if I were to extend a line, remember, from every point on the map itself, you can actually draw a bearing, which is a north bearing. You can actually draw a north bearing. Whether or not it helps you or not. But we must know what is the angle we are finding. That's most important. Now you see, from looking at R from P, do you see that I need to turn one whole line? The measure of the bearing always starts from the north. It always starts from the north and then it goes all the way here to where the line connecting P are. Okay? So from here, how can we find? Do you see that all I need to take, right, is actually, I need to find RPQ. Then I take 1, 2, 3 plus the RPQ. Then I get my answer. Okay? So how many marks is this? I don't know. 2 marks. Very straightforward. Angle RPQ equals to how many? 180 minus 92 over 2. Okay, this is to find the, because you see, this helps us to understand that it is a base angle of the isosceles triangle. That's why my 46 here helps, ma. I can say 180 minus 46 divided by 2. Okay, so it will be 90 minus 46, it will be 44. Okay, so is 44 my final answer? No, 44 and 44, right, is actually this one. This is 44. But I will need to add it to 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 plus 44. That will be 100 and how many? 167. Okay, 180 minus 92 divided by 2, 44. Why divided by 2? Don't need, right? Alamak. That one is to find the base angle. Okay. I know why. Because it's getting hot. 7 o'clock already. My office turned off aircon already. I'm getting very hot already. The weather sucks nowadays. Okay. So 180 minus 92. So it'll be 88. Right. So the bearing will be 1, 2, 3 plus 88. There will be 211. Okay, 1, 2, 3 plus 88, 211. So my bearing will be 211 degrees. Okay, this is not 44. This is 88. Okay, so in fact, I can just remove this bearing line. Okay, just like that. So what is most important to take note is the red line I'm drawing. Where am I looking at? I'm always facing the north. And then from the north, I rotate myself to where the destination, the direction I'm facing at. Okay? Very important. Okay? Next one. P from Q. Same thing. P from Q. Where am I? I'm at Q. I'm looking at P. Okay? Same thing. So I want to draw a north line. This is where the north line comes in. Okay? I want P from Q. I'm looking at P. I'm at Q. I'm looking at P. But same thing. How do I measure the angle? Okay, the angle will be starting from a north line. Remember, the direction is always one direction, which is clockwise. You cannot say, oh yeah, so near, right? I just start it like that. Cannot. This is wrong. You cannot do this. You cannot go anti-clockwise. You can only go in one direction, which is anti-clockwise. Okay. So what I need to do, I need to essentially the bearing that I'm looking at must always start from the north line and goes anti-clockwise to here. This is my bearing. Okay. So you can, as you can see, how do I solve this whole angle here? Okay. So you must be thinking, okay, yes, I can use the short angle here to help me find this angle, but I need to understand that I need to take 360 minus the yellow angle to give me my reflex angle. The reflex angle is my bearing, not the yellow line. Okay? But now the next question is, how do I find the yellow angle then? Okay, yellow angle. Okay, here is the secret for bearings. The secret for bearings, right? There are two secrets. Number one is always anti-clockwise. And number two, the number one most important property for angles that you need to use here is alternate angles. Alternate angles. Really. The number one secret, never run away from this property. So from here, as you can see, if I were to compare, let's take a look at the two north lines I've drawn. Okay, the two north lines that I've drawn, they have one property in common. They are parallel because both of them facing north. They face the same direction. Even if they don't tell you it's parallel, this one is confirmed one. They must be parallel. And remember when we talk about parallelograms, do you see that here from, okay, I'm going to highlight to you guys. This forms a 1/2 of the parallelogram. So as you can see, there are two parallel lines. What I can do, I can actually draw a line and to cut here. Let's draw a parallelogram at the side. These two parallel. So I can cut here. So this two is 180 and this two is 180. Okay, this 180, this 180. Okay, so what we are focusing at here on this bearing is actually this part of the question. If I rotate it around, can you see it? Can you see it? So this is what we are looking at. That means this yellow angle we are looking at, right, is actually the complementary angle of 1, 2, 3. Do you see it? That is what we are looking for. Okay. So how do we solve this question? Now that you understood this, how do we solve this question? That means, right, for the bearing of P from Q, I need to take 360 minus of 180. I need to minus off the complementary angle of 1, 2, 3. That will be my answer. That's why it's only 1 mark. You're supposed to see it immediately. Okay, so it will be 180 plus 1, 2, 3. 303. Yes, correct. Okay, 360 plus 1, 360 minus of this is the yellow angle. So just to indicate you guys, this is the yellow angle. This is the yellow angle. Which corresponds to this one. Yeah. Okay. So this is just 303. Very straightforward. Okay, last one. P from R, 1 mark. P from R. Now, same thing. P from R. From where? From R. So same thing. From where? Just immediately draw a top line already. Okay, P from R. That means where? This angle. Okay, same thing. Using the same idea. Do you see that this angle is also complementary to which one? To which one? To this one, the black one. You see that these two are going to be made up to be 180. So now I need to find the big black angle, the obtuse angle. Then you can find the complement of it. So can I find the big black angle now? Can, right? It's actually 360 minus the 88. Yeah, I'm going to put the 88 inside just to make sure it's clear. The 88 is actually inside here. Okay, so to find a big angle, the complementary angle P from R is actually how many? How many? It's actually 180 minus the big black angle. So it's 360 minus 88 minus 123. Okay, better still, you can just key the whole thing wholesale into the calculator, including the bracket. So 360 minus 88 minus 123. What happened to my calculator? 88 minus 123. And we are done. 31. Done. Done. Full marks. Straight away. Okay. End of paper. Yay. Awesome. Okay, today we only went through like paper 1, but I think it's quite a lot of things that we've gone through. Same thing. I think next time I'll just go through papers. Okay, if you all got any questions or what, then I'll just stop and then go through there. Otherwise, I'll just run through papers. I think run through papers is easier. Okay, Can. So bearings, we covered quite a bit. Bearings are algebra, direct proportion, completing the square, sketching graphs, algebra. These is actually just whole numbers lah. Conversions, simultaneous equations, Pythagoras theorem, trigonometry, subject of formula, fractions, algebra manipulation, transaction, financial, this is under financial transactions, which is a profit, loss, percentage and stuff. Okay, standard form, trigonometry, algebra, indices, gradient of a straight line, inequalities, factorization, highest common multiple, HCM, LCM, yeah, in short. Okay, maps and scales, indices, this is just algebra actually. These whole numbers, calculator skills. Quite a lot of things being covered, but I feel that this is a good revision for both Sec 4 and Sec 3 students to run through this one. Okay, so this is more of a revision. So I think subsequently we will just look into papers lah, as we just do papers on the spot. I think that's better also. Okay, so along the way, if you all got any questions that you all want to ask regarding certain topics, then maybe from there I'll pull out my notepad and I just go through tuition, just go through the content revision from there. Otherwise, going through paper might be a better idea. Okay, so with that, there's a paper 2. Maybe next week I'll go through paper 2. I go and try first. Okay. If you can, if you all want, you all can actually let me know, and then maybe I can send you the paper. You can go and try. And then maybe next week, what we can do is we can go through the answers together. Okay, that is exactly what I'll be doing in my exam training program. And then once you all do the paper, I'll go through the paper. So as you all can see, this is how I'm going to go through my paper during the exam training program as well. So it's the best that you guys already got the answers prepared. Then we just go through. Those answers is correct, continue, move on. Learn tips and tricks that can help you get the answer faster. If you didn't get the answer, listen to the explanation. Then understand that, hey, this is actually the requirement and the speed and the level of speed and accuracy that is needed for exams in order for you to get your A. Okay, we're not just talking about pass and fail over here. We're talking about getting an A. Okay, so with that, I'll end my live stream today. Then I'll see you guys next week. Okay, have a great day, guys.